deep into the girl's arm, and the nurse started the IV like she didn't care at all. Anna said her arm really hurt, but the nurse thought she was just being dramatic, because a little pain during an IV is totally normal. Anna switched through several nurses, but every one of them gave the same answer. I was the only one who thought differently. The moment I heard she was uncomfortable, I grabbed a pediatric needle, pulled out the big one, and switched the IV to her wrist instead. Sure enough, Anna stopped hurting, but the others didn't appreciate what I did. They said I cared too much about the patient and slowed down everyone's work. So the head nurse listened to them and transferred me the next day to a special department, the psychiatric ward. The rules there were strict. No jewelry, shoes couldn't have laces, doors and handles were specially modified, and there were no curtains at all. The psych ward was always the first place to greet the morning light. On my first day, a serious problem came up. This woman clearly didn't have a mental illness, yet her mother brought her here for admission. But hospital rules require 2 family signatures, and her mother had signed both with fake names. I realized the mother had forced her into hospitalization, so I reported it to the head nurse. Meanwhile, the woman finally explained the truth. She'd fallen in love with a man who wasn't her husband, and her mother was terrified of losing her wealthy son-in-law. So she sent Annie here to reflect on herself. The hospital interviewed the mother and found that Annie really had pursued another man, but it was one-sided. He even filed a report accusing her of stalking. So I told her she needed to let go of that unrequited love if she wanted to be discharged soon. I didn't expect that sentence to trigger her. She slapped me across the face and ran straight into the hallway. Halfway through, she suddenly felt overheated, ripped off her clothes, and started running naked through the corridor. I was completely stunned. The senior nurse rushed over with a blanket and quickly cleared the crowd. Turns out Annie really did have a mental disorder, classic bipolar disorder. She had bursts of extreme energy, spent money recklessly, and often did things she'd later regret. I hurried to follow her, but slipped and fell. My first day was really not going well. Luckily, after taking her medication, Annie slowly calmed down and even apologized to me. Her mother actually loved her very much. She brought Annie her favorite grapes every day, but Annie always asked me to keep them in the fridge. When I opened it, I realized she hadn't eaten a single grape in days. She told me she didn't even like grapes. She'd once choked on them as a kid, but her mother always insisted grapes were her favorite fruit. Her entire life had been arranged by her mother, and that was what pushed her mental state over the edge. Under the head nurse's guidance, Annie finally gathered the courage to say no to her mother. She had obeyed her all her life, so much that she lost herself. From now on, she said, she would live according to her own wishes. She dumped the grapes she hated and refused to see her mother. Her mother paced anxiously outside the ward. With my reassurance, she finally realized her mistakes. This time, she didn't bring grapes. She brought all kinds of different fruits. For the first time, Annie finally got to eat what she wanted and live the life she chose. And her mother's love hadn't faded. It had just changed shape. At that moment, I realized helping others could be something truly joyful.